What's a commonly known fact that's completely false? The Great Wall of China is the only man-made object you can see from space. No. No, you can't. It's like 30 foot wide. But you can see the moon. It's made of cheese, so it has to be man-made. Right? Slit pupils mean a snake is venomous. The shape of the pupils is based on if they are nocturnal or diurnal. Walks up to cobra and looks it in the eye. We're all good here. It has round pupils. If they are enlarged, it means it's in love with you. Even if there are hot singles in your area, they don't want to meet you. Waiting time before you can report someone missing to the police. Edit. Thank you for the silver. First time silver and I really appreciate it. Along with this, the best chance of finding someone alive, especially children, is within 3 hours of them being missing. And is only low as the longer they are gone. And after 72 hours it is almost guaranteed that the police will be looking for a dead body. Sugarcane grows faster on sand. That we need to detox our bodies. There's this whole fad of detox juice cleanses and detox workout regimens. While in reality, all we need to detox is to not become completely dehydrated. What's also peculiar is that these people who say we should detox our bodies never specify what toxins we need to cleanse ourselves from. My favorite quote on this: your organs remove toxins from your body. If one of them quits working, a kale smoothie isn't going to help. That goldfish have a 3-second memory. They actually have a memory span that lasts for months. They're also quite intelligent fish. You can even teach them tricks. This makes the idea of keeping them in a tiny bowl for all their lives so horrifying. I think that's how it started. In order to sell goldfish in tiny bags, like at fairgrounds, the 3-second memory was made up so people didn't feel bad about winning them. Tilt your head back when you have a bloody nose. You actually want to tilt it forward and pinch your nose. As someone who had hundreds, possibly thousands, of nosebleeds throughout childhood, just tissue will risk that itch and get back to whatever you were doing. Einstein never failed math. In fact, when he was shown a clipping from Ripley's Believe It or Not, where this fact originated, he said, "I never failed in mathematics. Before I was 15 I had mastered differential and integral calculus." Source: the origin to this is actually quite funny. I have heard this fact out as well. To be fair, the biographer made an honest mistake. Since Germany and Switzerland share the same grading system, numbers from 1-6. But in Germany 6 is the worst grade, whereas in Switzerland, where Einstein went to school, 6 was the best possible mark. So it really was just bad luck for the biographer, since he was only familiar with the German version of this grading system. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. In fact, it does, and frequently. Cough, lightning rods cough. Too bad for the guy who got struck 7 times during his life. Can't remember his name. Edit. His name was Roy Sullivan. That identical twins run in families. Only fraternal twins can run in families, and that's only because some women are known to hyperovulate, causing 2 eggs to be released at once. That can sometimes run in families. But identical twins are an anomaly. Correct if I'm wrong. Identical twins are 1 baby that somehow splits in 2, while fraternal twins are 2 babies conceived at the same time. That the Europeans thought the earth was flat when Columbus took to the sea and discovered America. The ancient Greeks calculated the circumference of the earth 500 BC. It goes deeper. People knew how big the earth was because the Greeks were mathematical rockstars. People knew that Columbus couldn't possibly carry enough food to make it. Dumbus Chris was all nah, I can totally make it. If he hadn't run into the New World, he would not have made it. Some of it had to do with exaggerations in Marco Polo's distances. The world's circumference was known, roughly. The distance from Spain to Venice was known. But if the difference from Venice to the Chinese coast in Japan is exaggerated, Spain to China, Japan seems shorter. We eat, IDK how many, spiders in our sleeps every year. Hair grows back thicker when you shave it. I believe this is because our hairs are uneven lengths, but when you shave an area the hairs there grow back at the same length, which makes it appear thicker. Who Let the Dogs Out was about ugly women in the club. Wrong. It's about unwelcome men hitting on women. Google it. The singer has said so in multiple interviews. Wow. I seriously thought this was about actual dogs being let out of the house. Infuriating when guests do that. Bats are blind. Blood is blue but turns red when it hits oxygen. Nope. The blue color you see under your skin has to do with your veins, not the color of your blood. Your blood is always going to be a shade of red. Fun fact about that. Your veins actually reflect more red than blue light, but they reflect less red than the skin around it. Your brain sees this as blue. It's similar to those chessboards with a shadow where some shades appear much darker or lighter even though they are the same color. Most instances of human contact with a wild young animal will not cause a mother to abandon it. There are a litany of other reasons why you shouldn't touch wildlife. Maybe how the myth started in the first place. That is interesting. That is one I always believed. But it makes sense. I am pretty sure if you picked up a bear cub, the mama would come get it. I think there are very few scenarios where you should be picking up a bear cub anyway. Lol. I think the myth started with baby birds being touched and mothers abandoning them because of human scent. Which is silly. Because birds can't really smell anything. It has been applied to deer fawns as well. Which is mostly false, like I said. There are tons of other reasons you shouldn't touch a baby deer. Diamonds are expensive because they are rare. Bullet. That humans only use 10% of our brains. That's just a misquotation of an actual fact though. It's supposed to be only 10% of humans use their brains. You can feel specific tastes only on the specific parts of the tongue. That is, sweet on the tip, sour on the sides, etc. Carrots don't improve your vision. That's the Brits lying to WWII Germans. And now you. Edit. Also the T-swilling badasses had super secret radar and carrots are the standard wartime diversion tactic. Thank you for the refresher. Reddit. My memory was fuzzy on the particulars. Edit it. Also Brits needed to eat more rabbit food, so propaganda. That it's illegal to drive barefoot. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that police actually encourage bare feet driving over driving in heels, flip-flops, etc. I've always wondered about that. On long road trips I occasionally drive barefoot and it certainly feels a hell of a lot safer than, for example, driving in heavy work boots. The left side of the brain is the rational one, while the right side is a creative one. It's actually more complex than that. A lot more complex. Dogs don't sweat by salivating. In truth, dogs have sweat glands all over their body. They sweat primarily through their foot pads. When they are panting, they are helping to regulate body temperature, much like we do. This is why putting their paws in cool water helps them cool down, and why they love a paddle on hot day. You have to wait 30 minutes after eating to go back into the swimming pool. Parents tell this to their children so they can have a break from being in the water. Swimming pools set this myth up to prevent people from taking their food into the water. That we only use 10% of our brain. Yeah, we use a lot more of that. Using 100% of your brain at once doesn't unlock a super genius. That's a seizure. Glass is a super cooled liquid which flows very slowly. Which is why windows in old churches are thicker at the bottom. You have to admire the creativity of the sheety glazier who made this one up while trying not to get run out of town. Though, that cold weather causes colds. Almost no snakes are poisonous, but plenty are venomous. Remember, if you bite it and you die, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you die, it's venomous. Aside from being a pedantic difference, that's one reason why snakes don't want to start a fight with you. They're not poisonous. So animals can, and do, eat them all the time. So when given the choice, Snakes will usually want to hide rather than attack. Edit. Wording. More specific as to why snakes are hesitant to bite, it takes a lot of nutrients to replace venom and precious energy to strike. They avoid biting unless it is something they can eat or necessary to their safety. Sometimes, venomous snakes will use a dry bite to conserve their venom. But yes, snakes are prey for a ton of animals. Their natural instinct is usually to flee or hide. Germany didn't invade Russia in winter. They invaded at the earliest possible date when the spring mud had sufficiently dried out end of June. Wolves don't have alphas in healthy wild packs. The guy who proved alpha theory is still trying to convince people that he was wrong after discovering that only captive wolf packs display alpha beta omega hierarchies. Ike. Most wild wolf packs are basically just an extended family. So the alpha male is literally just the dad. Certain shampoos will heal or repair your split ends. It's not some magical glue that will stick your hair back together. Just get a damn trim. That spinach is really high in iron content. Some dude added a digit or omitted a decimal point. Popeye was lying. He was juicing. Going out with wet hair gives you a cold. No, it doesn't. The cold virus gives a cold. Mosquitoes aren't attracted by light. They are attracted by you who are under the light. We got that misconception by seeing other bugs flying around lights and thinking it's the same for mosquitoes. You will not get a cramp if you go swimming right after you eat. Vitamin C doesn't really work like you think it does. It's good for you, yeah, but not really helpful in fighting colds and stuff. Companies have just marketed it right.